Do human beings recognize and use the principles in the reproductive behavior of human beings? We know that the reproductive readiness starts in adolescence, and the first phase soon after sexual maturity is the territorial phase, where males show a readiness to fight, to compete, and to show their supremacy. Human territory can be psychological, it can be ideological. Politicians, even though they have not studied ethology or psychology, they sense this, and politicians catch young ones at this stage, where they show a readiness to acquire a territory. And evolutionarily, the goal is establishing personal territory. But then what the politicians cleverly do is to create an identification in the minds of the young male with their ideology, and the goal is set as establishing that ideology in the country as a whole or in the world as a whole, and the poor fellow is hooked on to this, so he will not stop till the goal is achieved, and that is his territory. So just like a deer fights for a territory in a physical space in the beginning of the reproductive season, the young human male goes on fighting to win that territory, which is an ideological goal. So he may not enter the courtship phase at all unless this goal is achieved, which is his territory. So he may remain a bachelor and go on fighting to establish that ideology in his state or country or even the world. Another example is that of pornography. Pornographers may not have studied ethology, but they use the principles of animal sex behavior. For example, in pornographic cartoons, the female mammary glands are shown in exaggerated size. The mammary gland is the breast. Ethologists say that for milk production, small glands are sufficient. In fact, female apes have very small mammary glands, and they are very efficient in producing milk. But the human female has larger breasts because humans copulate from the front, unlike apes and other animals, which copulate from the behind or the rear. So the breasts have become larger for mimicking the buttocks, and the human male is attracted by large sized breasts because evolutionarily in his brain he is looking for buttocks, and pornographers know this, and for their pornographic products like videos, they select females who have large breasts, and in pornographic cartoons the breast is shown in exaggerated size. One question which is asked by many people is whether the sex drive will disappear in evolution. Sex has become pleasurable because across several generations producing offsprings have been of adaptive value, because more people are needed in the group to fight, to hunt, and to cultivate crops, and also to look after the older people when they are incapable of defending themselves or doing work. But now the situation has changed. Children are no longer a source of use to the parents. They leave home, sometimes they fight with the parents, and they do not look after old people, and children have become a headache for many people. So if this continues, will sex become unpleasant in the future? That may happen a long time from now, because we have been reinforced across a very large number of generations, and to decondition this we will require many generations. Physiological changes have to be made, or physiological changes have to occur corresponding to the psychological perception of having offsprings leading to unpleasant consequences. One last question is, how can we solve this situation? Now divorce rates are increasing and the family stability is eroding very fast. Now in most advanced countries, the rate of divorce is around 50%, and this is leading to many problems of child rearing as well as social stability. Another question is, population density is increasing in many parts of the world, and ordinarily when population density increases, the aggressiveness of people increases and there is breakdown of normal sex behavior. So when the density of population goes up in many parts of the world, there is bound to be increasing disorder and confusion in society. The only solution to this problem is increasing the stability of people. It has been found that in societies where people have a high degree of stability as a characteristic of personality, and when the density of population increases very slowly, there is an adaptation. That is, people are peaceful without developing aggressiveness, and many societies have been noted for this. For example, the Indus Valley civilization, they used to live in cities, but still there was very little evidence for aggression. And in the southeast countries also, the density of population is high, but they do not show much violence, because the increase in population density was very gradual, and therefore they do not show much population stress. So increasing stability of people and making this change to high population density very gradual is a solution to the problem. Now, even in overcrowded societies, there are stable marriages, and on actual study you find that stable marriages are made by stable people, and stability involves instinctual transcendence to some extent, and people have awareness and they have control over their own aggression. So the solution to the problem of stability of family lies in the alteration of stability level of people. So if we manage to increase the stability of people, in that lies the solution to the problems posed by increasing population density and consequent population stress.